Hello everyone, I'm Josh, and I'm here with Jack DeKeat.
Hi.
And his mate Charlie.
Charlie Dart.
Charlie Dart. That's a brilliant name.
Thank you.
I like the name Charlie Dart.
It sounds like the name of a protagonist from a sort of novel in which there's swashbuckling.
That's because it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was stolen from a swashbuckler.
Yeah, I wrote that novel and I'm starring in it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
We're going to swashbuckle later.
So we started off by chatting lots of rubbish about Chesh, which is this marvellous game here. I know we're at GameCity, but we're going to start off with Chesh. And I'm going to move the mic.
This game is by Damien Summer, who made The Yorg, and is a really impressive genre pivot from The Yorg, which was a storytelling game with art by Emily Carroll about saving a city. And this is a procedurally generated chess game. Which is kind of brilliant.
Which is why you have to say it like Sean Connery.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's set.
And I think the best thing about it is that it just does not let up. So you start a game, and none of the symbols make sense. There's a bomb with eyes crossed out, and they all jiggle around.
Each team has the same pieces.
Yeah, each team has the same pieces, like on a chessboard, but you have literally no clue what they could possibly do. So you just have to tap one, and then you can't change the piece you're choosing.
Yeah.
So you have to make a move, and if you forget what's going on,
So I just played it, a small game of it, and most of the deaths on my own side were from me just pressing a piece and being like, oh, that one doesn't go where I wanted it to go, I've just got to, bye.
Accidentally taking your own pieces. And the thing as well is that, like, the art, I realise that this is a very visual game in a very audio medium, but the art doesn't reflect what the pieces are going to do at all.
You have literally no clue.
So, for example, we have
cues.
bombs here, and I'm going to touch a bomb, and it
blew up in your face.
All this bomb lets me do is take one of the three pieces in my front row.
And it happened to be second row, so yeah.
Yeah, which is great. But it's really cool. I mean, I feel like it requires a time investment that I don't know if I can afford it, especially since when I play games on my phone, I tend to not really think about them. They tend to be quite ephemeral.
Yeah, and it is a mobile-only game, which
Yeah.
is why I think it works really well on the iPad, because if you've got time to take out your iPad, you've got the minute or two required to play a single game of this, just whip it out.
And then forget
in front of your
everything you
friends,
learned.
And
Just
then
totally.
and just tap things until someone wins.
Yeah, it's...
You mess around with it.
One of my favourite things is in the bottom of the screen, maybe in the top as well, the light's glaring, there is a constantly rotating field of all the possible chess pieces in the game. And it's just great. It's like stream of consciousness sprite design. In fact, I think that he got a variety of people to make the sprite art for him.
Yeah,
right?
there's a credits somewhere. There's a list of everyone who submitted sprites, and some of them are awful, some of them are really good, and there are hundreds of them. Hundreds and hundreds.
Oh god, look at that one. This is just all glyphs.
Yeah.
Good work.
Some are people, some are planes, some are symbols. Yeah, all over.
It's a really impressive... you told me to keep scrolling on the credits page. So that's
there are secrets in it as well, because he likes evil secrets that, don't necessarily add too much to the specific game experience, but he just keeps on.
So he's now just scrolling on an empty dark page.
Yeah, Josh has actually edited this podcast. I've been scrolling for 45 minutes.
We've all grown beards.
Yeah, we've all grown beards. Oh, hang on, I think there's some more symbols are arriving. Oh. Why just go to
That didn't happen last time.
Okay, just go to the main menu.
Okay, never mind.
Thanks. What do we want to talk about today, Josh?
Today we want to talk about.
Oh wait, actually, maybe I should say what if I want to do some shameless self-promotion at the top of
go
your podcast.
for it. So talk about who you are and what you do.
Okay, I am a writer and a designer. I once wrote a game called Castles in the Sky back in the heady days of 2013, which people were kind enough or strange enough to nominate us for a BAFTA for, which was pretty exciting. And now I am writing at a studio called Crows, which is the brainchild of William Pugh, who level designed the Stanley Parable. And we're working on something at the moment that is tremendously secret and tremendously exciting and also tremendously soon. So maybe even by the time people hear this...
I don't know, I'm going to work to get this out before
Yesterday.
you.
Oh, okay. So I'm not going to say
It's a
anything
race.
about it
It's
at
a
all.
race of time.
If you are at GameCity though, come and have a party with us on Thursday. This coming Thursday. I don't even need to say a date since it's coming out so soon. At Cobden Chambers. It's open to all. I think it's open to all, provided you're over 18. I don't know what your listenership is, but it should be a pretty good time.
Yeah. This time of day, it's it's mostly middle-aged people, I think.
Oh, that's great. That's cool. Like us.
Yeah.
Middle-aged
Middle-aged.
British and Americans. So the Americans will find no use in this.
No,
But
absolutely not. If you're an American, go to crows.com/report and make your brain go in spirals.
magical.
That's enough self-promotion, I think.
You've got a Fallout shelter door on there, haven't you?
Yeah, we released some
Or
screenshots.
maybe not, depending on how you want to get copywritten. Or
It's not, actually, in one of our screenshots there is a vault door. It's got a number on it. I don't know who ordered that art asset. It might have been Todd Howard from Bethesda, but it definitely looks Fallout-y. I can't say any more than that. Other than we're not making a Fallout game, I guess.
Fallout
is
4 confirmed.
No, well,
Wait.
oh yeah, cool. Great. This is the Fallout 4 review podcast. Yeah, what do we want to talk about?
Charlie
I guess I
is
should.
here also.
Introduce myself. I'm Charlie Dart, and I am also a writer. I currently am writing a sort of weird twine game about trains and sort of underground places. Essentially, just lots and lots of forgotten places that no one's ever met or seen before.
I like that abandoned places Twitter account. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if do I follow that? Do either of you follow Oneiropolis?
Yeah,
In
I think it's amazing. I bought his
Oneiropolis
book
has
the
been
other
stalked
day, and it was
released
amazing.
Yeah, released a book as well.
Yeah, I got that book for my dad for his birthday. He's not listening to this, and I haven't given it to him yet, so I can say what it is. Listen up, listeners. You know what I'm getting my dad for his birthday, and it's amazing. I mean, have either of you gotten into it yet?
I've read the first couple of pages.
How do you find it?
It was it's slightly more academic than I think I was expecting, but
Yes.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Because I kind of quite like reading that kind
I
of
can't quite get my head around his prose yet.
thing. No, but
Also,
it's one of those things where
enormous.
like
This book is
Yeah.
like this. I'm making this
Really?
shape to the microphone.
This shape, you're
He's making
perfect
it-
radio jack.
for those who can't see what
Yeah.
he did, he just he had one hand on the floor and one hand on the ceiling.
One hand on the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's a trick. It's a special trick I have. No, I mean, I thought Oneiropolis is really amazing. Do either of you follow Arcollect on Twitter?
Yes. I
Do you
didn't
follow
realise
Arcollect?
that.
I'm not
Oh my god.
sure.
I didn't realise that
I'm bad at Twitter.
Arcollect was a bot until
Yes.
recently. I
Okay.
thought it was
Oh,
a
really?
real person putting out just themed GIFs and pictures.
So here's what the thing is. Arcollect is. I'll get it up on Twitter so Charlie can look at it. I'm holding my phone up to the microphone as well, so you can see it. Arcollect is a bot run by a designer called Nuratpak, and it or they, I don't know how bots pronoun works. They just post pictures that have a distinct stylistic bent to them, almost. But the amazing thing is that it looks at what people fave and retweet, and then looks for more images like that. My favorite thing about it is that it created this from first principles, so it didn't know what it wanted to be at the beginning. It was just, I'll just
So
see
the
what people
retweets
make.
and faves formed its.
And the thing that is astonishing is, as Charlie will see in just a second, it has a remarkably coherent aesthetic.
Yeah, it's. I don't know how it does it, but
Oh,
it
if you just
really
scroll
does. It maintains the theme of often monochrome, lots of materials like leather
Yeah.
and
Black and white,
and spandex, not spandex,
latex,
Spandau Ballet.
lots of fashion pictures as well. Robots, fashion.
sci-fi.
So this
Yeah.
is what Twitter loves, essentially.
Oh, this is what Arcollect's followers love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It even has a particular taste in people. Its people are generally quite thin and anemic and
Yeah, it's,
wide-eyed. And
It's certainly a look into the popular mentality of what looks attractive in certain circumstances.
it's fascinating, especially the way it likes images with particular composition, lots of straight lines, lots of things coming to a point. It is so amazing to me in that I think that I'm really fascinated in machines emulating imagination. Machines
Yes.
specifically pretending to be imaginative, even if they're not. And Arcollect is an amazing example for me of a bot that has an imagination.
Or going through a bit where there's lots of naked pics.
Yeah, it likes nudity a lot.
No, just like a whole chunk of it, and now it's gone back to.
I mean, I guess it's the internet.
Yeah.
If you're listening along, go to twitter.com/Arcollect, ARCHILLECT, and join in. It's not particularly games focused, I guess, but
Well, I would disagree. Twitter is mostly a game.
Yeah.
Most of Twitter is gamified,
And it's-
if you enjoy that word, which
It's a
I
bot,
don't.
and bots are useful in games.
yeah, bots are tremendously useful. I tend to use it as a mood board, actually. I'm
Yeah.
part of a podcast called Friends at the Table, which is set in a sort of sci-fi, cyberpunk world, and we will frequently just share our collect images between us as reference, just like, oh yeah, we're talking about this thing linked to our collect. Yeah, I mean, look, is this a Death Star or something?
It's a boob.
It looks to me
it's not a boob.
It's it looks like it could be one of those places where they keep gas, and it like.
Oh
goes
yeah,
up
like a
when
gasometer.
like
Yeah.
a big one of the huge great places.
Oh,
Like a-
yeah, just a gas vat.
yeah, basically.
Well, there
And
are
they
traps.
they get higher when they fill up with gas, and they
Yeah.
go down when they use it.
A lot of those are being dismantled recently, I've
Why?
noticed. Probably because we're running out. I don't know.
I'm so curious about the machinery that makes those things work, that makes them move smoothly.
Yeah.
Is it just?
Just like pressure. I don't
Is
know.
it
Pressure,
It could be.
ball bearings, and a bit of spit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I
exactly
should probably
what it
know because my granddad used to work on it.
Really?
Yeah.
On gasometers?
Yeah. Like
What did he do?
I don't really know.
My granddad used to build roads, so maybe my granddad built roads around your granddad's gasometer.
Yeah, yeah.
What did your granddad do?
He was a tailor
Oh wow,
and part of the Home Guard.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
He made the clothes for. That's alright.
Did he make the clothes for the Home Guard?
Yeah, yeah.
Was he the Home Guard uniform boy? Charlie's still going through Arcollect.
Yeah, I'm just got hooked now.
So video games
Yeah.
specific
Yeah.
to GameCity. What have you seen and enjoyed?
Yeah,
have
he's
you had
given
any
me
time?
back my phone now. Sorry?
Have you had any time for video games here?
I've literally just got here, so.
Go play a game, come back, and let us
Go
know.
play.
Alright.
Are we full game
Just hear
beasts?
steps going off into the distance.
And then, yeah. Oh, a game! Look. We played Gang Beasts. Oh no, we didn't play Gang Beasts. We watched some people playing Gang Beasts, which I think is both of our first times really seeing Gang Beasts being played. I've had it in my peripheral a lot of times, and it's amazing how funny that game is.
Yeah.
But I think it's specifically funny with other people. I think
It's,
if I was,
it's only funny with other people,
yeah.
I think.
And I mean, even watching rather than playing. Like, if I was watching those people standing on my own, I wouldn't have been finding it as funny as I was watching it with Charlie.
Yeah.
When we were both just going like, oh god, he fell off.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's similar. That's all similar to like we were playing Ark the other day, and in Ark your character just like poos occasionally.
Yeah, you have a pooba.
When I played this on my own, like at first I was like, oh, it did a poo, and then like after the sort of like third time it happened, I was like, yeah, cool, that's just this game.
What game is this?
But then
Ark Survival Evolved.
I played it with Jack, and all of a sudden it was funny almost instantly again. I was just like, I don't think this will get unfunny whilst I'm playing it. With
Do we
Jack.
want to talk about Ark, a game showing at GameCity? It's not showing at GameCity.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good time playing Ark. So Ark
Yeah.
is, it is, I guess, most easily described as Daisy or Rust meets dinosaurs.
Yeah, it meets like Jurassic
And-
Park, I guess.
Yeah, it meets Jurassic Park, and is technically functional, as opposed to Daisy and Rust, which are so heavily work in progress, and stuff breaks spectacularly.
Both broken technically and broken in game design.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel that Daisy is an incomplete masterpiece in some
I
respects.
think. Have we ever played Daisy together?
I haven't ever played it at all.
Oh,
because
so
I
we haven't played it together.
It's sort of. I've always been like, oh, I might get the game, and then looked at the reviews and be like, I won't get the game.
We should play Daisy sometimes. It's interesting. Daisy for me is a much more interesting hiking simulator than it is a zombie game. But anyway, Ark is.
Ark.
So you spawn on this island.
Yeah.
With for want of a better word, a gem in your wrist.
Yeah, like a big
And
gem.
using this gem, you can basically construct stuff from the ether if you've learned it. They're called engrams, which I think is the
Yeah.
Destiny thing. So once you've learned how to do it, you can make it just go like boom, chair, and then like a chair. Or
Yeah, I mean you got to get the
That's the worst
the
superpower.
resources.
yeah, you got to collect the resources. You got to like punch trees. It's like a tree puncher.
Yeah, you
Okay.
punch trees until you think, and but unlike in Minecraft, your fists like bleed.
Yeah.
You
You
from
lose
punching
health when
trees.
you're actually punching a tree.
So tools are a must.
Tools are a must. You make tools as quickly as possible. But this game is really the mechanical loop feels really good.
Even just like picking berries.
Yeah,
is really
especially
enjoyable.
because this island is just like there are more dinosaurs on this island. Like we're talking like a Far Cry 4 level of presence of animals in a place. You're just tripping over dinosaurs constantly. And some of them don't really want to hurt you, and some of them really want to hurt you.
I met like an alpha velociraptor the other day.
Really?
Just like it was just like chilling next to some water, kind of like eating dodos occasionally. And I was just sort of, I didn't really realise it was there at first, and just like walked up, and this just like streak came past me, and I was dead, and I was like, oh,
Just like
okay.
So, but it's got all this kind of clan stuff. They call them tribes, right?
Yeah.
Tribe stuff built into it. So Charlie and I made a tribe called the Strong Boys Gang.
Yeah.
My character was called Dinosaur Pete. I thought it was descriptive. And
Yeah.
you were just called Carl, right?
Yeah,
Or something?
Carl.
Yeah, with a K. So we just spawned on the beach, and we were wandering on the beach, and there were these kind of like human-sized columns of stone and metal just kind of dotted around us like markers. And after about 15 minutes, a Tyrannosaurus Rex,
Just like
with a
popped
man on, just walked out of the ocean and walked up to us. And he said, no, don't grenade that column. And we were like,
You can get grenades.
there are grenades in this game?
Well, we were just using this as a handy point to like meet back
Yeah,
at
like
when we
meet at the metal stick
Yeah, yeah.
or whatever. And he said like, oh, you want to move inland. And it wasn't a suggestion. It was not a suggestion.
Yeah, it was an order.
And he said, you're in the middle of two big tribes
Boring
here.
clan, yeah.
And we looked to our left. There was like a 19-foot stone gate. just like in a mountain.
We hadn't noticed that before.
Oh, it was great. And then on the other side, there was like a castle on a cliff. Or there
Yeah.
was like a launch pad on a cliff with pterodactyls circling around it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were like, oh, damn, okay, I guess we're just like running around the middle of like a no man's land
Yeah.
between a turf war. So he set off
But
inland.
with our trained dodo.
Yeah, okay, so the way you get dinosaurs is, and I want to be clear here, this is not a way I advocate training animals.
No,
You
definitely
punch
not.
them nearly to death, and then you feed them food and also narcoleptic berries to keep them in a state until they are tame. At which point they're like, you can name them. So I named this dodo Carl, just to deliberately confuse Charlie. And this dodo was like so useless. Like,
Yeah.
phenomenally useless. And it just sort of ran around after us.
I got stuck like kind of behind some rocks.
Stuck on
We had
the
to go
scenery,
back.
we had
for
to go
it.
back and fetch Carl, and
And then I got A.
yeah, it got eaten by like a small lizard in the
Yeah.
water or something. But it's really impressive. I mean, it's one of the more expensive Steam games, I think.
Probably.
I think it's like £20, £25.
Yeah, I mean it's not like
It goes on sale
It's not like
again.
Fallout
No,
price or whatever, but it's
I don't think it's as big as those games, but like,
no.
it's impressive. I mean, it's fun. I think you should. Listeners, you probably know by now whether or not you like Tree Punch DayZ style simulators. And if you do, this is a really solid one. I
Yeah.
think if that's not your thing, you probably won't. No, you can play it single player actually.
Yeah, you can. The only issue I have with it is just slightly not very good when it comes to loading.
Yeah, it took me 15 minutes to load.
Yeah, it's not that well optimized.
No, but it's early in development.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
get better.
And if you're at GameCity this week, you can't play it.
You have to go home.
Go home.
Go home. Be inside on your own in the dark.
Yeah, it's great.
I think GameCity is good for the opposite of that.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
maybe not the opposite. Just
yeah, the opposite would be in like an arena or
yeah.
playing games. Although there is a theatre that's just there's a cinema over there that's just playing Minecraft.
That's true.
That's
Full
very
player
cool.
Minecraft.
4-player Minecraft, yeah,
Yeah.
which is pretty good.
The NBA itself is kind of joined but distinct from the actual festival.
Yeah, and that's new. That's weirdly that's weird for me.
Yeah, the NBA's
last
been
year.
around just under 10 months.
Okay.
And then the festival, they just happen to have enough time to organise barely.
Oh wow.
So they're doing talks and stuff, but the actual galleries here are really cool. And I'm guessing that at least some of my subscribers will have seen me go, oh my goodness, not panoramical. What's the music game?
Panoramical.
Yeah, okay, panoramical.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah,
The one we
yeah.
played.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
panoramical.
really good.
Panoramical.
Yeah, we played.
It has its own room here, filled with beanbags.
Yeah.
You just sit back and watch a projector.
That's pretty much the one
and
game I played.
It's so good, and I just spent like half an hour in there just going, yes, music. Yes,
Do you want to talk about
visuals."
what panoramical is?
Yeah, I guess. So it's,
Okay.
when we played it, it was just there's sort of a circle hub of different weird sounding things which you can select, and then when you select it and you go into sort of like a strange soundscape essentially. I think that'd be a good way of describing it. There's lots of like sort of glyph, like sort of glitchy kind of looking graphics, and then similarly sounding music which you can modulate. There's like 9 different ways in which you can modulate it until you can make these amazing, like what was the, like one I made look like the really good one? It was like the ceiling. I made the ceiling which was like kind of waves come
that's
down.
the really dark
and,
sounding one.
yeah, and they're
with
like,
the, like,
and the
flares
floor
coming
come
up
up,
and
and
then-
like there was like sort of tree-like structures going
Yeah.
on, and then like shooting stars going.
I
through
haven't
it.
seen that one before today.
Yeah,
And
it's
the good
amazing.
thing is that there are so many. Everyone's going to have a favourite and least favourite.
Yeah,
and
totally.
And even within those, there's so much range of selection of like musical qualities that you can mess around with that you're inevitably going to, with the same set of tools, make something entirely different sounding and looking to someone else, which is probably the coolest thing. And also, while I was playing it in that beanbag room, I noticed that because the speaker and the projector are on the same structure, like suspended above the room, if you make it really bassy, the entire thing shakes.
Oh, that's brilliant. I was saying to Charlie earlier that I saw Fernando, who's the design director on it.
Okay.
I saw him demoing it about a year ago, and he was playing with it, and he made this scene that was just startlingly beautiful. It was like it was a blue and gold fractal pattern in a series of concentric circles that was constantly unfolding on itself in these thin golden lines in this aquamarine background, and it was stunning. And I have never managed to replicate that ever in panoramical. It's my panoramical holy grail. I will consider the game complete when I have replicated that scene that Fernando showed off. I don't even know if it's in the game.
That's
is
the only
thing.
win condition.
Finding that.
Yeah.
They actually over here we have they're showing the performance edition here, which is partly a license that lets you show it at events.
Yeah, so like DJing or VJing.
Yeah. And the best bit is you get access to the game's back end, so you can plug your own loops into panoramical.
And you can plug it into MIDI systems as well. So you like if you have got any kind of deck, you can plug that into your computer and then into panoramical and mess
That's
around
so
with it.
cool.
Yeah.
Because it'd be amazing to essentially like re-soundtrack scenes. You know, you're like, oh, cool, I've got a really great idea for how this thing might sound. You could do like how many? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 9
in each.
in each. So all you need to do would be 9 like loops almost.
Well, because it's a graph. Each selection is a graph. Like each
Yeah.
button. There's normally 2 or 3 different qualities that it mixes
Oh,
between.
yeah.
So you'd not need 9. You'd need double that, which is mathematics.
That's maths, yeah.
Right
That's
there.
maths. So I have no idea how that recording would work. Would you just record distinct ones, or would you record ones with like bass modulations or like equalizer modulations?
I don't know.
I imagine you'd have bottom left is one thing, and
Like a
then
guitar,
top right
like-
is another thing, and then like
It would, like-
Bottom left
merge.
is always quiet, so I
Yeah.
think it's on the 2 axes.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah, like a cool X
So you could, so guitar on one axis, and then like some piano on the other one. that
I'm really
kind of thing.
excited to see panoramical being played at parties now.
Yep, I want to go or host eventually one.
A
Yeah.
a
one.
panoramical party. Yeah. What's the favorite thing you've seen so far?
The one that's stuck in my mind. There are lots of favourite things. Okay, the two things that have stuck in my mind have been in one of the galleries is not a racing game. It's
haven't
racing
played this yet.
cars projected onto a board, and you run around shooting 3 other players with your headlamps because and on the board on the floor are things like spades and tennis rackets and clips and bats and all
And you
things
just
that
use
can
those
move
to
around.
kill the other players.
No, they become walls. So
Oh,
if
wow.
you drive your virtual car into a real bat, it just stops.
Wow.
So you can use that and like push people around
Oh, wow.
or trap them inside a tennis racket.
That's amazing.
It's the best.
Does it
That
feel
sounds
nice
so
to play?
It does. Like, I mix between playing on an Xbox controller and playing around with the
Cheating.
bits on, and trying to get people stuck in corners and things like that. But also, it's fun if there are 4 people playing and then you've got other people messing around with the stuff.
Yeah. If you
on
had
the
just
floor.
like a whiteboard and a whiteboard marker, could you just draw out like
Oh,
a
wow.
like a little map for people to drive around, like a little?
I have no idea how it works. I'm assuming there's some kind of Kinect style
Yeah.
device that
Is watching the-
watches and recognizes the objects.
Oh, here's Tom. I don't know if he knows we're recording a podcast. Tom Hadfield,
Oh,
PC
right.
gamer journalist.
Yes.
It's just, hey Tom, we're recording a podcast.
We're recording a podcast. So you can join us if you want.
Do you want to come and say hello? Tom, who are you?
Hi, I'm Tom Hatfield.
I don't know if you're on the microphone at the moment.
Yeah, it's pointing this way, so you might have to. Sorry
leaning
about
casually into it.
How's it going?
Okay, yeah. I've just been wandering around, finally discovered the council house where a bunch of other stuff is.
Oh, there's another. What?
Oh, okay.
There's another
the,
gallery.
The council house is where they do all the talks and stuff.
Are they showing games there as well?
They are showing Unseen Diplomacy, which is a Vive game, which is the second thing I was going to get onto.
I was hoping you were going to talk about this because I don't know what
Does someone
it is.
else want to talk about Vive? Because I'm just gonna ramble.
I could talk about the other. I could talk about the Valve demos if you want to talk about Unseen Diplomacy. If we want to do a Vive bit.
Ooh, we could do a Vive bit.
Sure, no, I haven't tried it yet. I'm hoping
yeah.
to get in on it later this week.
Similarly.
Okay. Yeah, Jack.
Well,
all yours.
Well, I don't know if you want to start with Unseen Diplomacy since it's here.
Yeah, okay. So Unseen Diplomacy is basically a James Bond simulation.
Yes.
It does. it does some of the classic things like avoiding lasers and balancing on little strips on the outside of buildings so you don't fall off, and mashing on keyboards so that you hack into things.
That's amazing.
So using the Vive itself is nice. It's not like, oh my goodness, I'm inside a video game. It's like there is a video game on my face, and it's very easy to let it fall into its world. Because you've got these 2 things that represent your hands that you can pick up stuff with, like torches and screwdrivers, so you can twist to unscrew panels, and then you crawl around on the floor to go through the vents that you've just unscrewed the panel for. And it's just really clever, but impossible to do in your house. So
Yeah, I have a question about Unseen Diplomacy actually.
Okay.
So it says on their thing that they use both the Oculus Rift and the Vive.
okay, yeah. The Vive is the agent who is doing all these challenges, and the Oculus Rift are cameras in game. Like you can see as the player all these cameras like floating around, looking at you, doing weird things, pointing to stuff, and then as an observer, you get to then they've got little sheets saying agent evaluation form that you fill in.
That's brilliant.
It's just a way of observing the player, which is a very clever idea, and it's worked quite well because sometimes people help them and sometimes they're like, you're an idiot.
When you were playing, did you I'm really fascinated by like collision in the Vive.
Okay.
In that
Me too.
In that whenever I wear it, what's the word? I go along with what the developer is suggesting in terms of collision. When they suggest a solid wall, I don't walk through it just because, that would be unsportsmanlike. But I wondered whether or not when you were crawling through vents or when you were shimmying along a ledge or whatever, was your brain essentially tricking you into obeying the collision? Or do you think you would have just
If you stood up halfway through a vent, what happened?
would it have freaked
I
you the
don't-
hell out if you just clipped straight out of the...
I don't know whether it would have freaked me out because I was playing along at that point, but near the end there was a wall and I was like, well, I'm probably finished soon, so I'm going to walk through this and see
Oh,
what
God.
happens. And you do just walk through a wall.
What did it feel like?
Transgressive because you shouldn't be there, and it does the whole normal clipping thing when you see harsh lines going through your vision.
Well, you know, sorry.
And then I walk back into the room because I didn't like
That
it.
could be a really fun mechanic within a game that you can actually just walk outside the walls of the game and like, sort of the Stanley Parable-esque, the narrator will then tell you off for going outside.
Walked out, yeah.
One of the things they do really well in Unseen Diplomacy is they mess around with perspective so that you not only have this containment where the play happens, but also you see scenes outside of where you're allowed to go.
Yeah.
Both physically and virtually. And so you see a scene of a moon base, and you start crouched down with your hands, and you start in a box.
Oh
but
my God, that's
everything's
wonderful.
Everything's black, so you're like, what? And so I moved around and I accidentally knocked one of the wood panels. It just went bonk.
Oh, that is
and
so
fell over.
wonderful.
And so you have to bash out of this box, and that you can then play with the bits of wood. But then, it takes
That's
you out
phenomenal.
there and puts you in elevators, puts you in corridors, puts you in the vents, but then also puts you in this giant room with lots of big screens that are further away than you can actually reach.
Yeah, so I mean, when I was at EGX, you and I were both essentially competing for who would be able to get a Vive demo first.
Yeah, you won.
And I won.
You won because
have
you're
a-
better at getting up in the morning.
Because I am better at getting up in the morning, I guess. And so I did I ran all of Valve's demos that they do, with the exception of they have one set in the Dota 2 Secret Shop that they run occasionally, which is supposed to be really cool, but I didn't get to play that. So I played one where I did painting, and one where I was met a whale, and one where I was in aperture science, and one where I threw eggs at a robot, and I think there was one other, I can't remember what it was. But what you were saying about scale is really fascinating, in that the two kind of highlights demos for me both used that really spectacularly. The underwater one starts you on the deck of a ship, underwater, a sunken ship, and you can approach the rail, and there's the abyss down below you. And of course you don't step off the rail, don't do that. And then a whale just swims by, and it's the size of a whale. It's enormous. It's bigger than the courtyard we're sitting in right now. And even though I knew I was in a tiny room, it was remarkably disconcerting and impressive to be placed next to something just so gigantic. And similarly, the Aperture demo starts you in a very small room, and without wanting to spoil the demo for people who might play it in the future, at one point in the demo the walls peel away to reveal that you are standing on a platform inside one of those cavernous Aperture locations, just like vast, with test chambers way out in the distance, and you can see robots being manufactured really, really far away. And it's so clever how quickly your brain was able to go, I'm in a big space. Like, I've always been in a big space. This is the room now, and that has such huge potential to me, I think.
Yeah. One of the most things that fascinates me a lot about VR is a while back when someone created a cinema. In it was for the Rift, this one. I don't know if it's been ported to other VR devices, but that notion that you can be in a small room, but it convinces you that you're in a big room long enough that you have a big cinema screen, even though it's actually just two things in front of your eyes.
That's like the play in by Cardboard Computer that they did.
Oh yes, they did. Have you played that in VR?
I haven't played in VR. I played it on my computer. I loaded it up in the VR thing on my computer first and was like, why is everything in double?
What is happening? So we're talking about the Cardboard Computer, the makers of Kentucky Route Zero, released a supplemental episode, I guess now about 2 years ago.
I was going to say, are there now more supplemental episodes of Kentucky Route Zero than there are
There
actual
are,
episodes?
which was just, and I love this idea so much, it was just a play.
Yeah.
It was an entire 45-minute, what's the playwright called? He wrote View from the Bridge and Death of Salesman. Arthur Miller.
Yeah.
It's like an Arthur Miller style play set in a bar with people talking, except you realise really quickly that you are on the stage, and it's in first person, and you can look around you and see people waiting in the wings for their entrance, and you can look directly behind you and see the audience sitting in the stands. You don't have
For
any
a long
lines.
time I didn't look at the audience. I didn't realise they were there, and I turned around and I was like, oh hey.
Look at people here.
But I think it's like the lighting as well gets slowly, the back gets a little bit more lit up as you go through, so at first
really?
actually it's quite difficult to see the people behind you, and then that's my experience, but
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know if that's actually how it's been
Yeah.
made or...
But yeah, it's free to download and it's free to play, and it's really worth playing. I think it's a super solid piece of writing as well as kind of mechanical experiments.
I just wish I.
When you say free to play, you mean free, not
I mean-
free to play.
I mean, it's
There's
free
no-
to play. Yeah, totally. But it
There's
is-
an energy bar and microtransactions. You add audience members
It is
with
free
little
to
hats.
play in that you download it and then you pay £15 for DLC and you can get Kentucky Route Zero,
Sorry.
the main thing.
Want the players to remember their lines?
Yes, exactly. Everybody forgets that line. I don't know.
You just get little costume bits that you can dress everyone up in.
Yeah.
A fez.
Yeah, does anyone want to say anything about
I was just going to say,
GameCity, or-
one thing I like about you were saying, as you rightly pointed out, there's no way you can do unseen diplomacy in your living room. Like, and that's one of the things I like about GameCity is it has these games that can't really exist anywhere else.
Yeah.
So, like, just around the corner from where we're sitting, there's Alistair Aitchen's Tap and Bash, Dash and Bash. That's it, Dash and Bash, which is fantastic fun. And it's a good job that this building exists. Otherwise, no one would be able to play it.
Yeah, exactly. You think about something like Line Wobbler as well, which I don't know if is here.
It was here last night.
Yeah.
Line Wobbler is a game played on a single real-world string of LED lights.
Yeah, it's a one-dimensional game.
Yeah,
That's
have
what
you
he
ever played
calls
Line
it.
Wobbler?
No.
Oh man, it was here last year. It's really good.
You missed out.
You
Yeah.
fight enemies, and it's just all on this one single line of LEDs.
And your controller is one of
that's
those shoe horses, so that you put the
A
toe
shoe
in.
horse?
Is that what it's called?
I don't
shoe
think
horse.
it's called a shoe horse.
But it's so much like a
I-
horse.
Isn't it just a
It might
joystick?
be a shoe.
No, it's one of the things that you stick
put
in
in a
shoes to
shoe.
keep them in
Yeah.
their shape. So it's
Like a-
basically a coiled spring with a wooden bit on the end, and that's what you flick to wobble the line, your character, your LED character.
But it makes an amazing sound. Because
Yes, because it makes an amazing sound
that's
because
the sound it makes.
the chip, I don't know whether it's like an accelerometer or something, but the noise is direct output from that, so it's like a saw wave or something.
That's phenomenal.
Like a
Yeah.
theremin kind of thing.
Yeah, and the harder you flick it, the further it wobbles, the higher the pitch, and it changes like directly in relation to the way
It's
you move
super
it.
cool. It's
I mean,
really good.
yeah. I mean, the NBA isn't the only place you can put this stuff, but it is one of a few places, and like
It's one of the best places.
it's one
With
of the
enough people willing to play them as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I mean, yeah, most of these things have been taken and toured around a few different festivals, but this kind of gives them a more
I
permanent
think
location.
Line Wobbler is at Double Fine right now, so if you are listening to this and you work at Double Fine, hey, nice job.
Didn't they install a version of Line Wobbler in one of the game bars in London?
In Loading, maybe. I think it might be in Loading.
Someone told me they were going to put a second one in Loading,
Huh.
but
Pretty cool.
I haven't been there since, so I don't know if they actually did.
It's strange thinking of these things as having physical copies. But the only way you can have a second copy of Line Wobbler is if you. It's like you talking about the Somerset Urtext.
Yeah,
earlier,
yeah.
with, like literature that has only ever been replicated by someone typing it out word by word on a typewriter. That makes a second copy.
Yeah.
And like the only way you can make Line Wobbler is, I guess, go fetch a shoe horse or whatever this is.
It's a
Yeah.
real thing.
It's
You mean
probably a real
shoehorn?
thing.
No, because that's what you put your feet into the shoe with.
If there's anybody I would trust to correctly use the word shoe horse, it's a man with an immaculately smooth moustache. It's a shoe horse moustache. I guess all I have left to talk about is Mario Maker.
Yeah, go ahead with your Mario Maker stuff.
Mario Maker's great. I've never played it before. I've watched a lot of Patrick Klepek playing Mario Maker Mornings, which is a video series he does, in which he's a journalist for Kotaku, and he used to work for Giant Bomb. And a Giant Bomb journalist called Dan Reichert makes him horrific Mario Maker levels, and he attempts to complete them. They're just the worst. Patrick calls him the world's worst level designer, Dan Reichert, which is impressive. But I was playing with it the first time today. It's really cool, and I'm so impressed specifically by how Nintendo has managed to make operating system interactions with it feel really nice. So, for example, you have a load of tools in your palette almost, and you can only have like 9 of them in your palette at once. And you can open the bigger palette and then select which of the tools you want to be in your quick bar almost. But rather than just dragging and dropping that, what you do is you tap the customize button, and you hear like a majorette's whistle. And all the little icons suddenly sprout legs and start like shifting around really nervously, like they've been like marshaled into position. And then you drag them around, and then you you hit the button again, and the whistle goes. They all like sit down comfortably in their new positions, and it's such a cute object interaction
That
that feels.
feels so much better than like using Unity.
Yeah, right,
If you're
exactly.
the people who make Unity,
make Unity.
listen up, because
Yeah.
this is how you
Absolutely.
turn work into play.
I want the inspector panel to just have like little men with flags and the flags unfurl and
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
drag bars out. Who cares about functionality?
You just peel back the thing, and there's just like all these cogs with like
Yeah,
a little
and-
hamster and a wheel behind it. Just like, come on.
I want my physics system to be a man dropping things. That's what I want. That's all I have to say about Mario Maker. I was just trying to make really uncanny Fez feeling levels, and it wasn't working very well.
All right.
But that's because I'm neither a level designer nor an artist.
How much better is it than Doctor Who Maker?
Oh, it is significantly better than Doctor Who Level Maker. Have you seen Doctor Who Level
I
Maker?
have not.
Tell us about Doctor Who Maker.
It's just like pretty awful from what I've seen. I sort of played around with it for about 5
What is
minutes,
it?
and then it's basically like a platform game maker with Doctor Who style assets, but like that doesn't really work very well. And, like it kind of like makes a gesture towards being a little bit more like customizable, like by putting your own code in things, but doesn't really follow through with it.
No, this just lets you make Mario. Like,
Yeah.
it just lets you make, if you want, you
Yeah.
can just make flawless Mario levels with this.
You can imitate Mario extremely well, perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's actually what they've been using internally in Nintendo for the last 20 years.
It's an amazing tool set. But it comes from like a lineage of Mario Paint, right? And Mario, what was the other one? Mario Music, Mario,
Yeah.
That was part of the same game, right?
what?
Mario, the music Mario thing that everyone loves from ages ago, that was part of Mario Paint.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
You can change the music in this, and you can make it do all sorts of cool stuff. You can change the tile sets, like you can make it look like any Mario game released in the last 700 years, including Mario Alpha from 1461, which is terrible. But you can just select a drop-down menu, and then you're like, oh, cool, now it looks like the Wii U. And it changes all the object interactions as well, like, you know, as soon as you move into the future of Mario, Mario can now wall jump or butt stomp or do all these things.
Yeah.
And then as you switch
The
back...
great thing is that it transitions it seamlessly, so it's not like
It's
not like I'm making a SNES Mario level now,
Right.
and then I have to start again to make a Wii U one. You just flip a switch and change between the two immediately.
Which does mean you can spectacularly break your levels by just like removing a power that you just, I can't solve this now. But in order to upload levels, you actually have to complete it once,
Yeah.
which is such a nice trick.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes Patrick's videos so compelling, is that it's not just that he knows that Riker has built these levels deliberately to mess with him, it's that he knows that Riker has beaten him.
Yeah.
He knows that his nemesis has successfully completed this thing, which is really cool.
I was going to say, on the subject of user-generated content, I don't know if you've mentioned Mission Control yet before I got here.
No.
Mission
I've
Control is
just
very
walked
cool.
past it and just been like, oh, wow, what is it? That's
Have you
about
played it,
my
Josh?
interactions
I
with it.
have, but you go. I
No,
talk too much.
so Mission Control is basically takes up most of the first floor of the NVA. I think it's this giant, like Star Trek looking station, like battle station, in which is full of like switches and all kinds of really physical switches and knobs and dials and sliders. And what it creates is a very basic kind of a very basic game where you fly around on a screen collecting points and hiding from aliens, and that's it. But every single part of it is customizable by anyone who happens to wander past and flick a switch. So, like, the background is just a webcam pointed at the blackboard. So if you write something on the blackboard, it will show up on the screen.
Yay!
As Jack did. You can the aliens like. There's a little there's a camera that you can use to capture. You draw something on a little tiny whiteboard. You put it underneath the camera. You slap the capture button, and that's now loaded in. And that has a chance of appearing as an alien for anyone who plays this game from now until they clean out the memory.
It's just fantastic. I love that so much.
So yeah, Castles in the Sky 7 out of 10 is in there and might show
Yeah.
up for anyone.
Which is great. Dom drew an alien, and Dom
It's
actually
very
just
good,
drew a
yeah.
specific alien, which I think was more in the spirit than reviewing my game.
I just wanted it to pop up when you were playing.
Exactly.
Without you being
Well,
sorry.
but I can't talk because I then promptly tagged Dom's cool alien with the name of our studio.
It's viral
I didn't
advertising.
realise it was going to be in the game, but I guess it is now. So okay.
Your own, you create your like own player characters by having like there's a big like square made up of lots of little buttons that you draw a thing on.
It's a MIDI drum controller, like a
Yeah.
10x10 MIDI drum pad,
Oh, is that what it is?
and it gives you 3 frames of essentially pixel animation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
Dom-
Dom made a guy who was swimming.
Dom made a guy swimming, which is amazing. And I just made the letters that spelled out Dom.
And yeah, there's a bunch of switches that you could use to just change the background. I changed a load of the effects, changed the sounds. And the idea is that you actually play it with an N64 controller because you only actually need the joystick part. So the fact that the N64 controller isn't made for someone who has 3 hands doesn't matter.
Like Dom's Alien.
Yeah. But the thing is, the idea is that as anyone's doing it, anyone else can wander past, just flick some switches, change the background, load in an alien, whatever the hell they feel like. Which I am told works quite well. When I played it, there was hardly anyone else around, so I didn't really get that effect.
Okay.
I was a little bit worried that like British politeness might stop people from doing it, but then, as the NBA people pointed out, kids just mess with the switches all the time.
They love that though.
Yeah.
Kids and switches. I think. Yeah.
I feel that like another game that worked really well at GameCity, I don't know if it's ever been here, would be Artemis.
Yes.
Space Bridge Simulator.
Yeah, because that it just like people rarely have enough friends who also have the game and are all in the same room and have enough electronic devices to actually be able to play that game.
Just to say before moving on to that, there's a big list of people who contribute to it. I don't remember the names of most of, but 2 of them are our friends, Alex Roberts and Jason Dewey.
Yes, we should have done that.
I don't know what Alex did for it. I know Jason designed the interfaces. I think.
I think
which are
Alex
very
hooked
good.
up all the MIDI controllers to make pixel
That
art,
makes sense. That's pretty
which
much
is
what she does.
impressive.
Yeah. She builds games using components that were made before she was born.
Yeah. Very impressive. Hey, we're recording a podcast.
Hey.
But I think
Yeah, we should bring
Yeah.
this to a close. So thank you people for joining, and then these 2 who ended up coming at the end.
That's the second time I've done that.
Yeah. So if anyone has something final they want to push onto my adoring fans,
Crows.com.
we are making strange games and stranger things.
You should come to GameCity next year. I'm assuming you're going to put this out probably after the festival's finished,
I hopefully put it out during the week. It should be right.
or just visit the NBA at any time. Really, it's
Yeah.
all one trip.
Perfect. All right. Once again, thanks for watching, listening, whatever, and we will catch you whenever. Bye.
See ya.